Hey there, hey, and thank you for tuning in to this Thursday edition of Born to Be a Star. Today is another day and another opportunity for you to recognize your star power, to recognize where you've been and where you're going to next on your stardom journey. You're looking in the mirror, reflecting on what kind of day you're going to have, right? Maybe everything's not perfect. It might not be, but today's another day for you to start your day by saying, yes, I can have a great day. Yes, I can try something new. Yes, I can be better than I was yesterday. Yes, I can learn something I've never learned before. I can play the flute, the cello, the clarinet, the violin, the piano, the saxophone, and the guitar, right? I can learn how to play tennis if you already don't know how to play it. You can learn these things. I know it might seem like it's like very impossible or it's not going to happen. But if you put the time and the effort, you can. You can get an RV, you can travel around the United States of America, you can get a passport ready, you can travel around the world, just pick a random spot to go to. The idea of saying yes you can is that you can. Why not buy a new car? Why not save your money up and get what you really want to live at, right? Maybe you want to move to a different town. Maybe you want to move to a different state. Maybe you want to move to a different part of the town you live in now. Maybe you want to just change the way you've been living entirely and you want to do things differently. So why not say to yourself, yes, I can? Following the idea of saying to yourself, yes, you can, why don't we have a conversation with ourselves and talk about the idea of never giving up? Life is difficult. Bad things happen to good people. And sometimes difficulty can really affect us in a bad way, right? Just make our lives horrible, right? Somebody you love dies. A relationship ends. You get fired from a job, or you quit a job you really liked. You dedicate your time to something and it does not work out. You put all your money into the stock market. Maybe you bet on the wrong thing at the casino. Maybe the friend you thought was so great sucked. Maybe you're having an experience that's not the greatest experience you thought you'd have. It could legitimately be anything and more. But regardless of these feelings that you're having, regardless of these moments that are not going the way you want them to, we have to find a way to never give up. Through the darkness, through the chaos, through the insanity, we have to find a way to hold on. Because life is difficult. Bad things do happen to good people. And that can happen yesterday, today, tomorrow, next year, next month, in 5, 10, 20, 45 years, whatever it may be. It can happen at any point. So we have to do a better job of living through the chaos. So invite yourself to utilize the mantra that I do from John Cena, which is never give up. The idea of never giving up is fighting and persevering through difficulty. The idea of, the idea of never giving up is fighting. It's not always easy. It's not always fun. You might have a bad experience with a doctor. In fact, sometimes it's not going to go the way you wanted it to. And that's okay. But never giving up is fighting through the difficulty. Never giving up is looking at the light in the darkness, is recognizing that maybe something's not good, but that doesn't mean it can't get better. That just means you're just stuck in one moment. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the idea of fighting, seriously fighting for a better tomorrow instead of getting caught up in today? Yes, life is difficult. Cancer and infertility and sickness and death and anxiety and pain and horrible situations and bad things can leave you in a horrible environment. it can leave you feeling some type of way, right? Like how you're going to get through this. But you still got to get through it. You still got to find a way to get through the darkness. That's the idea of never giving up, which leads us into the next part of our conversation, which is why not today. Procrastination and indecisiveness can lead you down a dark hole of never getting anything done. Putting off today for tomorrow, taking more than 5 minutes to fix a dishwasher, claiming you're going to do something with somebody, then never do it. Don't be the friend that never is around. Don't be the person that says, I'm a homebody. Yeah, I like to be a homebody and I like to do my own shit too. But I still want to be there for my family members, my brothers, my mom, my husband, all the family, the nephews and the nieces and the sisters and the brothers and the uncles and aunts and anybody that's available, because family time is everything. So for me, 5 minutes to recognize the damn dishwasher doesn't work, I'm contacting the super. I'm going to try to figure out a way to fix it, because I can't imagine living without my dishwasher. If I see a marking on the wall in the bedroom, in the gym or the office, if you see something on your kids' room and the bathroom and the laundry room and the pantry or the basement or the garage, you're likely going to wonder what the hell it is on your wall. So instead of procrastinating like, shit, what do I do? Here's what you do, man. You go to Home Depot, True Value, or Lowe's and you paint over it. Stop wasting time thinking, how am I going to fix it? And find a way to fix it. The way to fix it is to paint over it so you don't have to stare at it, right? That's the idea of why not today. We don't put off today for tomorrow. We organize our lives. We contact the mechanic when the car is not working correctly. We do the things that we need to do. We show up to our doctor's appointment, or we reschedule them. We organize our lives effectively, efficiently. We plan out meals for work for the week. Even if we work at home, you still do that so you don't go crazy. The situation is, if you don't plan out your life and you don't organize it, things are going to go bad. And the idea of why not today is not putting off today for tomorrow, because we can't buy time, and aliens want to eat people. And Quiet Place 5 to scare everybody. Just a thought. Thanks for tuning into the mantra. Let's get to the tea time. So, it's Thursday, and I thought it was important for us to bring the conversation back to a topic we've discussed before. But I've recently made some changes in my life, and I think it's important we talk about it. So the tea we're having today is chai tea. Told you yesterday. I'm drinking it cold. It's delicious, and I like it. So first step, let's do it. Sipping the tea, sipping the tea, sipping the tea for you and me. Sipping the tea. So here we go with the tea, right? Let's do it. First part of the conversation, bad jobs. Second part of the conversation, growth and potential. In some ways, these entangle in each other. So most of us have had bad jobs, right? Where the expectation from the job is insane. Maybe they pay you a decent amount of money, but their expectations and or the requirements to work there is like insanity. When I started my working career, well, shit, I've been working since I was 12. So, when I started my career path after college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I originally wanted to work in video film, and I have a bachelor's in communications. And then I went into customer service, and I liked that. And from there, I went into some other stuff, and then I thought maybe I'll be a teacher, but that ended up failing during COVID, so that was great. And I'm appreciative of the things that I've experienced. I'm not saying that they were bad or I was stupid. I'm just saying maybe those weren't the best experiences, and maybe those weren't the best things that I did. But what I can tell you is this. I've always had a positive outlook on employment. Like, I know I have to work at a job because I know I have things that I have to pay. I know I can't live for free at my apartment, and I know my car has a payment, and I definitely need to pay car insurance. And I have other things I have to pay for too, like normal everyday things. How are we going to eat? How are we going to watch things? You have responsibility as an adult. Maybe as a kid you can get away with not doing shit, but as an adult, that doesn't work. So, taking that into consideration, right? How do we get through this? Well, when you work at a job, you go into the job understanding you're going to have to do, training. And you're going to have to get along with your coworkers and your manager. But at some of these jobs, these people have been at these places and they've created this environment where they want to punish anyone else there. Now, ever since I graduated, before I got my master's degree, I've had really horrible experiences with managers. I worked at Target during college. Horrible. And then I went back after I graduated, even worse. And then from there, I did customer service, and I was pretty good at that, working in a call center environment. I think that's where I really found my true love. And then from there, scattered around, and I did some other stuff in an elderly home. And basically, me and my team got laid off from our customer service department, and I basically trained everybody there. So that was really ironic and fun. But whatever. So it led me to teaching. And I really had a lot of passion and energy for that. And I really thought that was going to be the one thing that I did forever until I didn't want to do it anymore. But my mom told me not to do it because she told me that it was not what I thought it was. And of course, me being who I am, I did not listen to her. So I invested countless years and a lot of money pursuing a master's in education. Every effort, every step of the way, I did all these things. I did all this. I paid all this money. I invested all this time in that. And COVID happened, and then God took a turn with me and led me into the financial field. And at first, the first experience I had was okay, but not that great. And then I went and I had an even worse experience at a different place after that with a horrible manager. Somebody that was micromanaging everything with everyone, envious, jealous, and hateful, and just ungodly in every way, shape, size, or form. And now, this leads me to bad jobs. Is the job bad or is the manager bad? Like, how do we get to a point at these places where these people think that they can say anything to you and they can treat you any way that they want to because it's convenient for them, right? They don't want to deal with any type of denunciation of stupidity. We creating environments where you want people to dress up like lawyers and like executive assistants, and you want them to act a certain way about something. It's 2025. A lot of people work from home. A lot of people are doing fucking hybrid work. In fact, majority of people are either doing hybrid or remote, fully remote. And I gotta tell you, I don't understand why people are so committed to this fake pretending idea of what something is supposed to be instead of things being natural and real. I got to a point within the last year in 2024 and at the beginning of 2025 where I just didn't understand. Like, what are these places looking for and what are the requirements? Even in teaching, like, why is it so difficult to get any kind of response or get anything from these people? Why does it just feel like it's a nightmare? Why does it feel like things are never going to get done? Why does it feel like nobody actually cares? Because nobody actually cares. People do things half-ass. They treat people like shit. They have this relentless expectation that everyone else is supposed to do everything for them. They never want to be held accountable, and they want to come across as they're perfect when they are not. The only person that is perfect is Jesus Christ, and I'm saying it and I mean it. People have a tendency of not looking at themselves in the mirror and recognizing if they suck. And a lot of these people fucking suck. That's it. They suck. So, we need to do a better job of having some sort of flexibility with employment where you do not treat people the way they don't deserve to be treated. You should treat people the way you want to be treated. And I found myself with this opportunity. I think God really created it for me, where I'm in this new working environment where there is no wardrobe, where there's no script to follow. All these things that there typically is something for, and that does not exist here. They want you to be your unique self, right? They want you to be who you actually are, right? They want your authenticity. And it's confusing yet amazing at the same time to be with a company, to be with a place that understands that. Because I've had so many shitty experiences before this, that finally finding a place that doesn't care what I wear, and doesn't care where my husband went to college, and doesn't care blah, 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 and doesn't care about my hair texture, right? That manager I told you about, the second job, she brought me into an office about my hair texture, even though there's a Crown Act, and told me it looked like I just woke up, right? She totally humiliated me in front of my coworkers. She was a dismantling, horrible nightmare. And I just let her talk to me like that, because I don't take things personally, and I don't care. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me, but that's not going to stop me from being who I am, right? I'm a survivor. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I did. And I'm glad I stuck it out. I'm glad I didn't let her get the last laugh. In fact, I left laughing at her, which is funny. Same situation with the last situation, right? The last place I was at, they had this like insane ideology, pretending like it's 1979, making people wear clown suits and do all this extra shit, forgetting the fact that maybe that's unnecessary. Maybe it is. Why have we gotten to a point where we deny reality and we pretend like things aren't real and we treat people differently? Is it because it's fun to do that? We've got to do a better job. I'm so grateful to God to have an amazing family, an amazing husband, an amazing mom, amazing in-laws, amazing brothers, amazing friends, that I was able to get through the difficulty that I was involved in, that was put in front of me. Because I could have gone crazy. I developed anxiety from a horrible manager, because I didn't have it before, but I definitely developed it from a job. And you know, when God doesn't see you're fit for something, you get taken away from it. And that's exactly what happened to me. And that's not a bad thing. So the reason I brought up the first topic of bad jobs and sipping the tea is because maybe it isn't you. Maybe it's the culture of the place, and maybe it's those people that want to go along to get along. They'll agree with anything because they're getting paid, and they don't really care, right? They'll show up, they'll ship out, they'll look like a monkey, they'll look like a clown, they'll do whatever they have to do because they can't do anything less. They're not competent enough to know not to do it. So if somebody isn't talking to you the correct way, if a manager is being a bitch or a motherfucker or a sad sack of shit, maybe just let them talk to you like that. And maybe just have the realization that you do matter and you are important and they don't. It's a job. You can find a new one. You're smart enough. You made it before, you'll make it again. Even if you get fired or laid off or whatever the fuck it is, or even if you quit, you'll figure it out. If you got a DoorDash or Uber, or you got to do some care.coming or any of the Amazon like things where you drive around and drop stuff off, you'll figure out how to survive because you've done it before. Don't ever let a job tell you who you are, because you're the talent, and if they can't recognize the talent, then they probably don't have any anyway. It's not about all these procedures and these ridiculous rules and these ridiculous like gothic governmental run places that it does not make any sense. It's not about all that. It's about compatibility and competence. And once that's gone, you've got a spiraling death fire. You're going to get through it. A bad job usually has a bad management level. It's usually a management team that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and that's usually because no one's paying attention to it. And HR isn't going to fix it. And a market manager isn't going to fix it. And the manager of the manager of the manager and the team lead and blah, 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 they're not going to fix it. Because if it's a real problem, it's been going on already. It's the culture. If the culture is concocted, is connected to the bullshit, then the only way it's going to be fixed is to remove that. And the only way you remove it is to start all over. And these companies don't want to do that. These companies don't want to admit they failed. These companies don't want to admit who they are. But you know who does know the customers? And you know who else knows? The people that have been there before and left. There are brighter passages, brighter days, and you're going to exist somewhere. It's just not going to be at a place that's not for you. So fuck them, fuck that place, fuck that job, fuck that moment, and get with the next one. The next part of the conversation is growth and potential. The reason why it's so important to be working somewhere where they can, see your growth and potential is so that you can grow, so you can succeed, and you have options so you don't have to stay stuck in one place for a very long time. It's important to work somewhere where there's an opportunity for you to get where you're supposed to go, and it's not going to take you years to get there, right? That's not fun. Who wants to spend more than 1 year doing the same thing with some relentless goals that you're supposed to achieve, with some ridiculous mindset of something? Who? Nobody. You have to find your strength and your awareness to a situation, because people will say anything to get the goods out of you. They'll use you, abuse you, tell you something, blah, 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 blah. They'll do all of that because it's convenient, right? But you have to have the ability to recognize what real is, and the ability to see it. Now, in some ways that's great, in other ways it's questionable, but we have to have an awareness. We have to have an ability to recognize what's great and what's not. Your potential is dependent on not just you, but where you are. When it comes to your job or your career, do they see your potential? Do they see you're the star you are? Do they see your light? Is your light too much for them because they like the darkness and they don't want your light? That's what I mean. I was stuck in a place where I'm the light and everybody else is dark. So I come in a room and they all hate me because they love the dark. How does that work? Isn't that a question? That means it's not going to work. Your potential and your growth is dependent on you saying what you want, where you see yourself. How do you want to be in whatever the time frame is? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to be with a place that's growing or a place that's dying? Do you want to be with a place that's doing better or a place that's doing worse? People are not listening to their rhetoric. They don't believe what they're saying. They're not in on it. They don't want to be a part of whatever the company or the industry is because it's not acquiescent to what they want. That's a great question. It's important that you don't stop yourself from reaching your potential, and you don't stop yourself from growing because someone else can't notice that you need to move forward. You know how many shitty managers there are that will potentially lie to you about what you can and cannot do because they don't want you to leave, because they desperately need you to be there to clean up the slack and do the things the other people aren't doing. That's what I'm talking about. Bad experiences overall. We need to do a better job of calling that out and do an even better job of not getting caught in that. So if it's a bad job, if it's a bad manager, if the person's not aware of your potential and your ability to grow and prosper, find something new. It's 2025. There's enough remote positions around the world and United States of America that you don't have to stay stuck on something you really don't like. And yeah, you might be making a certain amount at the job you're at now, but maybe you'll make more at the next one if it's a better fit. Why are you at a company where you hate the management, you hate the rules, you hate the policy, you hate the procedure, and you don't like what they're doing? So at what point are you going to leave, though? Like, you're waiting for an opportunity for what? Like, you're going to leave at some point? When is that some point? What are you waiting for? We're living in a time where you can have like 5 jobs if you want to, and you can make whatever salary you want. Come up with a website, come up with a podcast, come up with some easy way to do things. Have one of the side gig jobs. You should always have multiple ways of getting money, not just one. Because it's 2025 now, and shit is up and shit is down, and you gotta acquiesce and you gotta go along with what it is. We're not living in 1974. We're living in 2025. And this is the time where you recognize your strengths. And that's not a bad thing. Moving on from the tea. Thank you for sipping the tea, sipping the tea, sipping the tea for you and me. Sipping the tea. Let's move into the main part of our conversation. Let's get it. So, pools or the beach? I'd say the beach. I don't know. It's something about pools with the chlorine and the people and the kids and no, don't get me wrong. Where I live, there's a pool, but I used to go get in it, and now I don't. I'm not. There's no appeal for me. Maybe you've got an appeal to it. I don't. It's not appealing. It's not exciting. It's not fun. But some people might find it that. I'm not one of them. So, taking that into consideration, I'd go for the beach. But, looking cute by the pool is fun too. I'm just not going to get in it. I'll be on the deck, and I'll look cute by that. Maybe I'll put a toe in, but I'm not putting my entire body and my hair in that. Plus, I've got too much bleach in it anyway, so that's not happening. But, honestly, I'd say either or. It depends on what mood you're in. Like, if you're going on vacation, clearly you're going to be at a pool. Unless the vacation is somewhere hot and there's beaches there. Okay. More sun, please. Finally, the weather has gotten nice. It's been cold forever. Doomsday felt like it was February and April. Finally, we're getting good weather in New England. Are hosts fun? Sometimes, but a lot of the hosts on a lot of these things I look at, it all sounds fake. Like they're overacting and they're annoying. Home gym. Like I have a home gym, but then I have like a gym membership, and then my job has a gym, and then there's a gym where I live, and then I have Anytime Fitness. So I have like 3 gyms. Like, I don't know. Like, should we work out 7 days a week? If you can. I work out 6. I take Saturdays off. That's my day off. I think it's important to walk and be athletic and like do some sort of movement every day, which is why I either go on the treadmill or I prefer running outside. I do like the elliptical, and I do high intensity training workouts with my trainer Leah, which I really like. But you don't have to have a trainer to do that. You could probably do that on your own. Obviously, if you want a little more push, you get the trainer. If you're not worried about all that, then you don't need it. It depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to live. For me, I want to live longer and stronger. So me and my husband, we work out. He works out 7 days a week, and I work out 6. Saturdays are my day off. Unless we're busy, or it's a holiday, or we're on vacation and there's not a workout place. But typically when we go somewhere where there's a gym. So there's always a gym available for us to be at that. The shipping war. I ordered a 5-in-1 hair styler in March, and I still haven't gotten it. And I sent these people an email, and I don't know where the hell it is. I'm starting to get aggravated, but I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt of them sending my money. But I'm attempted to contact the creditor and say I never got my shit and I want to file a claim. Like, I'm at that point. Easy shouldn't be hard. It really shouldn't be. When things are hard, why are they hard? Why are things difficult? Why do people make things difficult that it doesn't need to be? Moving on from the main part of the conversation, let's talk about watching things. AEW was on last night. Hook's injured. Who knows why? Stay Close looks okay. High Heat. Holy Family. Toy Boy. In Life CC. All over again. Someone Die. I Hostage. Have you heard of that? What the hell is that? That sounds okay. The Order. The Stolen Girl. The Amatuer. Now, I saw an ad for that on Amazon. Does that mean I can watch it and just pay money to look at that there? I don't know if I want to see that in a movie theater. I don't know. Me and Skip are going to go see Accountant 2 on Saturday or Sunday. Either Saturday after I get my hair done or Sunday after I go to the gym. Or before I go to the gym. I don't know. One or the other. Bullet Train. I was considering watching that again. That was a very entertaining movie. A lot of cool characters. A lot of cool people in that. I was considering rewatching that again. There's so much on. Apple, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Max. Just endless options for endless things to look at. I mean, how can you not be watching anything with all those options? Moving on from watching to eating. Today for lunch, I had a nice lunch from Mighty Powerful Meals. It was delicious. For dinner, we're having tortellini and meatballs. Italiano. Cesar chicken salad, my favorite salad. Cabbage tacos. Not sure if I want to try it, but maybe. Egg foo young. I saw a recipe. I'm willing to give it a try. There's something about Mexican food. If I could eat Mexican food for the rest of my life, I would. If I could live in Mexico, maybe not the bad parts where the gangs are, but in a nice part, by like the beach, with like the food, I would go for that. Like in a safe area, totally be down for that. I love Mexican culture. I love Mexican food. I'm all about the black coffee. I just love it. It's my favorite food to eat, actually. Keto blueberry cheese muffin. Does that sound like something you'd want to eat? Cheese wrap burrito. So you basically take cheese, you put it in a pan, and you make it a circle. Then you take things that would go into a wrap and you put it inside of it and you make a burrito out of it. It looked pretty healthy and cool. I try it. My friends, I want to thank you for tuning in to this Thursday edition of Born to Be a Star. Don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. Brothers and sisters, we got to say the United States of America, Canada can kiss our ass, and the rest of these countries better get on board with whatever the fuck Trump said. Let's get rid of the inflation rates and let's fix the market. Like, really fix the market so we don't keep getting taxed and tariffed by these shitty countries that don't actually care about the American citizens. That shit has to end. And China just wants to sell us a bunch of shit. So we really got to get things together and fix the problems that do exist here. The world needs to be saved too, but America has to be careful trying to save places that there's no point in trying to do it. Everybody should be free and happy, and we all need to work hand in hand, brothers and sisters. We are the beginning, the middle, and the end, omnipresent, just like Jesus Christ. Been here before, seen everything before. We are the light in the darkness, and the one thing that defeats the darkness is us, the light. I see that light in you, brothers and sisters, and I hope that you see that light in me. I will see you same place, same time tomorrow. Hello, goodbye, good morning, good night, ciao. See you later.